Hello, everybody. My name is Ben Langford. This is Ben's Sports Corner. Thanks for tuning in. Episode 2. Today I'm going to be giving you my NBA Conference Finals recap plus my NBA Finals preview and prediction. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. In the NBA Western Conference Finals, you had the Golden State Warriors beating the Dallas Mavericks in 5 games. The Western Conference Finals MVP for the Golden State Warriors was Stephen Curry, who averaged 23 points a game, 6 rebounds, and 7.5 assists. Curry, Klay Thompson, Jordan Poole, Kevon Looney were all playing huge in this series, but the player that really stuck out in my mind was Kevon Looney, who put up 11 points a game and 11 rebounds a game. The numbers may not shout out at you, the numbers may not pop on paper, but Kevon Looney averaging 11 rebounds a game was huge for the Warriors. In previous finals and previous playoffs, Kevon Looney's never played this big minutes. They're finally giving him an opportunity to show what he has, and I think Kevon Looney has shown that he is capable of being the starting center for the Warriors, putting up great numbers. If you just give him enough minutes, he can definitely help the team out. Now, as far as the Mavericks go, I definitely think Luka needs a big man. Right now, it's just Luka, Jalen Brunson, and Spencer Dinwiddie, as I mentioned in my preview for this series, and that's really all it was still. They didn't have anybody that came out and put up a lot of rebounds, put up a lot of points, put up a lot of assists. So I do think this offseason, the biggest question is going to be getting the Mavericks a second star. As the Mavericks, what I would do is go out there and trade for Rudy Gobert of the Utah Jazz, get a big man in there that can put up a lot of blocks, put up a lot of rebounds, and give Luka, more opportunities to score, stretch the floor maybe a little bit, just get the defense garnered away from Luka, and Luka can put up even more numbers, get them even closer to the finals. But right now, with how the team is built, I just don't think the Mavericks have what it takes to get back to this point. This is going to be the Golden State Warriors' 6th finals in the last 8 years. It's definitely on a dynasty level. The biggest question is, are they the next dynasty since Michael Jordan's Bulls? I personally believe they are. They've shown that they can get to the finals. They've shown they're a great team, breaking Michael Jordan's regular season record of 72 and 10. They went 73-9. They have the team that it takes to be a dynasty. They've shown that they can be great and be great consistently, and that's what they've done. But as far as that goes, Western Conference Finals is over quickly. Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, the nucleus of the Golden State Warriors all played their parts, all played their roles, and got them back to the NBA Finals. So let's jump over to the Eastern Conference Finals, where we had the Boston Celtics beating the Miami Heat in 7 games. The Eastern Conference Finals MVP for that series was Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and Marcus Smart, all in the starting lineup on the Boston Celtics, all averaged over 15 points a game. Now, those numbers are huge in the playoffs. If 3 players in your starting lineup can get you over 50 points a game, 9 times out of 10 you're going to win that series. Especially in the Western Conference Finals and the Eastern Conference Finals and then the NBA Finals, if you can have 3 players getting you 15 points a game or over 15 points a game, there's not much you can do. As far as the Heat go, Jimmy Butler was the only Heat player to average over 20 points a game. Bam was second with 15 points a game, and everybody else was under 10 points a game. Now, obviously, if the Heat are going to not give Jimmy Butler Bam help, I don't think they can get back to this point next year. As a Heat fan, it hurts to say, but I just don't think that they have anybody on the roster. Even Tyler Hero, he was hurt. He was hurt with a groin, so I can give him an excuse for that. But I don't think the Heat have anybody besides Jimmy and Bam right now. Kyle Lowry, who they just signed to a 3-year, $90 million contract, only averaged 9 points, 3 rebounds, and 4 assists. If you're gonna get that low of numbers from one of your supposed superstars, 9, 3, and 4, there's not much you can do. I think this offseason, in my opinion, they should look to trade Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson. They should look to trade some players off their bench, get a third superstar in there alongside Jimmy and Bam. Because if they run into this Boston Celtics team again next year, I don't think they have what it takes to beat them. And the series may even be shorter next year if they do run into each other again, just because I don't believe the Miami Heat have any firepower. They played great defense this season in particular, and this series. But I just don't think that, defense can only get you so far. Now, come playoff time, obviously defense can help you. But in the regular season, if they're not going to be able to put up points consistently and they're just going to rely on their defense, well, there's too many good offenses out there, and you have to be able to put up some good points. And if you can't, then you're not going to be back to this point. and you're not going to be able to be a contending team. Now, I am happy for Al Horford, though. He broke the longest streak for a playoff without a finals appearance, 141 straight playoff games that he never reached the NBA Finals. He finally got over the hump. I'm glad to see that for him. Even though it's towards the end of his career, it's still nice to see an NBA player get to the finals. And he's putting up valuable minutes for the Celtics as well, so don't let me say that he's not. Now, to get to this point, to get to the NBA Finals, the Boston Celtics haven't really skated by. They've ran through the hardest teams. They beat the KD-led Brooklyn Nets. They beat the defending NBA champions Milwaukee Bucks. And now they beat the number one defense Miami Heat. So, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, and Marcus Smart all deserve this. Robert Williams, Al Horford, they've all playing great, and they all deserve to get to the NBA Finals where they are now. So, let me get into my NBA Finals preview and prediction now. In the NBA Finals, it's going to be the Boston Celtics and the Golden State Warriors. In the season series, they split 1-1. They played twice. Golden State won one, and Boston Celtics won the other. In the Golden State Warriors' previous 5 final trips, Stephen Curry hasn't delivered on expectations, only averaging a mere 26, 6, and 5 in 28 games. That's 26 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists. Now, those numbers are good, don't get me wrong, but as far as a superstar leading a team, those numbers definitely need to be improved upon. And I think, personally, they won't be this year because Marcus Smart, the defending Defensive Player of the Year of the NBA, is going to be guarding Stephen Curry this series. So you're going to be having the Defensive Player of the Year guarding Stephen Curry. I think Stephen Curry can still put up numbers, but numbers that can change this series, I personally don't believe so. Celtics coach Ime Udoka, also from the San Antonio Spurs coaching tree under Greg Popovich, hangs his hat on the defensive side of the ball. He wants to get the defensive stops first and worry about the offense second. And that was shown against the Heat. It was shown against the Nets as well, sweeping Kevin Durant-led Brooklyn Nets and then beating Giannis, the defending NBA champion Milwaukee Bucks, in 7. So I think the Boston Celtics play great defense. I believe there's a stat out there that in the beginning of the year they were 22-21 at one point, and they've only lost 6 games since, I believe, the start of February. So obviously the Boston Celtics are clicking on all cylinders this whole season, pretty much, and you can definitely see it watching them. Now, Boston's ability to stretch the floor is going to hurt Golden State. Draymond Green usually likes to play that safety role. He'll stand near the paint and just try to read the offense, try to see where the ball's going, try to see, who's trying to get off the screen, who's coming off the pick and roll, whatever. And I think Boston's ability to stretch the floor without Horford maybe on the baseline, maybe hiding away from the plays, maybe getting Draymond Green out of the paint and letting Jason Tatum go to work, letting Jaylen Brown go to work, I think it's going to hurt the Golden State Warriors. Because the only team the Golden State Warriors struggled against in this NBA playoffs so far is the Memphis Grizzlies. And the team that plays most like the Memphis Grizzlies is the Boston Celtics. Against the Memphis Grizzlies, the Golden State Warriors lost in 6 games when the Memphis Grizzlies star player Ja Morant got hurt. It could have swung the different way if Ja Morant never got hurt. So I do believe if Boston Celtics stay healthy, there's no key injury, I'm taking the Celtics to win the series. Another reason I'm taking the Celtics to win the series, the pressure continues to rise and mount on Curry and Golden State. Like I mentioned before, this is their 6th finals in 8 years, and they've only won 3 championships. So they're 3-5 right now, and the pressure is mounting. Okay, you keep getting to these NBA finals, but when are you going to win them? They lost in 2017 against the Cleveland Cavaliers, then they lost in 2019 against the Toronto Raptors. So are they going to just keep making the finals and not actually delivering on the title hopes, or are they finally going to take that title home? It's the biggest question coming into this series. Curry averaged 25 points a game in the postseason so far, and Jason Tatum is averaging 27. So Jason Tatum's already averaging about the 27, 28, 29, 30 points a game range where NBA players, superstars need to be averaging. The X factor for the Golden State Warriors is going to be Jordan Poole, a 6'3" guard off the bench who puts up great numbers, who's basically running the offense when Curry takes a rest, when Klay Thompson takes a rest, and he definitely played huge against the Dallas Mavericks as well. He, in my opinion, could have been named the Western Conference Finals MVP over Stephen Curry, but that's another argument for a different time. The X factor for Boston is going to be Marcus Smart. Like I said, he's the reigning Defensive Player of the Year, so how well is he going to lock up Stephen Curry, if he's going to lock him up at all? I believe the X factor is going to be Marcus Smart for the Celtics. to go out there. Him on Curry is going to be one of the biggest matchups in this finals, because if he can lock down Curry, then I think the Celtics can win in 6 or 7. But if Curry can manipulate Marcus Smart and still score and still be Stephen Curry, I think the Warriors can win easily. But my prediction is going to be the Celtics in 7. The couple of reasons why I'm taking the Celtics, like I said, is youth. They have no pressure on them like the Golden State Warriors do. And the thing that the Golden State Warriors aren't really used to is TD Garden in the finals. Going to Boston in an NBA Finals game is so difficult. It's so loud. The decibels in that building are going to be insane. I don't know how the Golden State Warriors are going to be able to cope with that. That's why I'm taking the Celtics to win. I do think, not just the stadium, but I think the way they play at home, the way they play defense, the way they score the basketball, I just don't see a way the Warriors can beat the Boston Celtics, especially with Gary Payton's injury on the Golden State Warriors. He had a shoulder injury from, I believe, the second round of the playoffs. Gary Payton Jr. plays very limited minutes, but the minutes that he does play are very huge always. He plays valuable minutes. And without Gary Payton, I think the Boston Celtics are definitely going to be able to, manipulate the matchups. Jason Tatum on Andrew Wiggins, Jaylen Brown on Klay Thompson, Al Horford on Draymond Green. I think the Boston Celtics matchups in particular in the starting lineup outweigh the threes and the disadvantages that they may present in the NBA Finals. But I do think the Celtics are going to win in 7. The first game is going to be Thursday, June 2nd at 9 p.m. If Boston wins this series, they're going to have the most championships all time at 18. Right now they're in a tie with the Los Angeles Lakers. So with that all being said, let's go Celtics. Celtics in 7. I hope you guys enjoy the finals, and I'll be giving a podcast after every game of the NBA Finals, previewing that game and recapping that game. So, hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I'll see you in episode 3, and thanks for tuning in.